Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Podcast Interviews. I'm your host and sometimes referee, the friendly neighborhood Zach Sat Pearson, and I'm joined by she who is not actually from London, but is very good at doing those accents through many years of practice and dedication. A one Ginger and London.
Yes, that is me. I am Ginger in London, the game developer, writer, and artist.
Essentially human Bostonian Swiss Army knife.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well, first and foremost, happy to have you on our quote-unquote year of interviews. I kind of sort of planned on you last year, but last year was weird, not necessarily because of the pandemic, but because I literally never had a stable schedule because I think I had 4 jobs just because things kept getting randomly closed down if a manager or a boss got the cooties. So, yeah, it's not so much time was limited. It's more like I didn't know when it was going to randomly blow up in my face. But you know, ironically, working at an airport now can, stabilize your schedule, which is very ironic because most positions are not stable.
Yes.
Well, that's enough about my BS. All right, so I just want to know, primarily because I think the last time I spoke to you about anything creativity was like literally weeks before I went into the Army in 2013. But exactly how many creative hats are you wearing? I only counted one last time, but like I said, that was some time ago.
Yes, indeed, it was. I wear many hats. Basically, some more fashionable than others. My hobbies mostly include sculpting, lightweight bodybuilding. I'm not a pro or anything, but I do like to do that. I'm kind of obsessed with Beat Saber right now, and I play video games, obviously, and write novels, and for fun, paint and sketch at local cafes. And that's my hobbies. But for my career, I work currently for a game called Primordial Prophecy. My boss lives in Denmark, and he's possibly the best person I have ever worked with in the field. So I really love him. I also do commissions for authors, doing their cover art. And yeah, I'm working on a passion project. It is a RPG pixel game, cyberpunk from my novel series, Phoenix Undying. And also working on a graphic novel for that as well. So yeah, I'm pretty busy.
I can't imagine what your coffee bill must look like.
It is quite expensive.
Oh yeah, so now this one kind of blew me away, but I guess I could blame it on my own literal ignorance. I had no idea the creator of Cyberpunk, like the actual aesthetic, was still even alive. Like,
Yeah, it is.
the last person I heard make something new that I knew was dead was like Gary Gygax, and I only know that because, well, his name is hilarious, but also he was on Futurama.
Yes, I know. Oh man, yeah, he is. Yeah, cyberpunk is really one of my favorite genres ever, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. So I've always been in love with it since the 80s. You know, it was just so cool.
Hey, at least you can remember the 80s.
Yes, I know.
So, that being said, who is your favorite artist of all time? Also, why?
This is a difficult one. I'm gonna have to say, I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but his name is Danny LuVisi. He has done some really awesome cyberpunk illustrations. He does a lot of art books. His most famous one is Last Man Standing, Kill Book of a Bounty Hunter, and it is brilliant. His work is so detailed. It's beautiful. Original, just really cool stuff based off cyberpunk and that genre, really post-apocalyptic even too. It's really cool.
Okay, well, I have actually heard of him. I still just can never spell his last name correctly. But that being said, as always, for the people who aren't going to listen to this on Audible and Spotify and all of that stuff, which we are actually on, make sure you give me links later and whatnot so the YouTube folks can see stuff too. Cool. Danny LuVisi. I definitely remember him too. All right. So that being said, how did you end up in game design? Because I'm pretty sure that's not what you went to school for.
No, I definitely did not. I started working on my own video game. It's an RPG and it was based off my novel series. And I started posting that. And basically, I got some attention for it. People started liking it. And some game developers started following me on Twitter and asking me if I could do some work for them. And yeah, that's how it got out. I have just a lot of game developers and connections with that. And every time I post something, they'll just write me something and saying, "Hey, I like what you're doing. Can you do something for me?" And then it just kept going on, and it just sort of like a snowball effect. And I eventually did something for Bethesda as a contractor, doing a little turnaround character for like a zombie for Evil Within 2, and that was pretty exciting. Yeah, that was really cool.
Wonder if that was my fault or partially my fault. No, because your situation, or at least your situation and how it relates to me, is very, very, very unique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate to say it, and I mean I hate it because people will jack them for me before I can get a chance. I'm very good at recognizing not talent so much as potential. So when you came across, and now this makes me sound like I'm some corporate bigwig, but I'm not any of that. When you came across my desk, I literally asked, could I like go out of my way to just lock this person down and throw stuff at them until, you know, something sticks, aka till you take something, because I saw potential all those many years or over a full decade ago. And then on top of that, you just mentioned Bethesda, which I was going to bring up because, well, I guess technically after this, there is somebody, I call him CJ. He's obsessed with and loves science fiction, but he also has homies at Bethesda. Even got a free E3 badge off of them one day, which is why I'm not using his full name. But when he's not, you know, loving video games, he's actually an accomplished writer, and he's also a 4-commissioned director. I'm trying to, a part of me is thinking like, you know, what if he reads your book and likes it, and maybe, I don't know, does a little short film or gets permission to do a short film off of it?
I would be highly interested in talking to him about that.
The level of crap that randomly links back to you is weird. Then there's also the Rockstar situation, but you know, that's not a literal Rockstar. It's more like the company named Rockstar. But I don't think you've met him yet, but we'll put a pin in that one. So moving on, what video games would you say were the most influential inspiration for you? Now, it doesn't say growing up, but pretend that it does.
Okay. Yeah, it would definitely be the retro Japanese role-playing games back in the day. Man, I loved those games. I have so many good memories with that. And also the Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. Obviously, Bethesda's like one of my favorite game companies. And yeah, and the Horizon series too. I would have to say it's one of the most brilliant, beautifully told looking games ever, and I fell in love with it immediately. It was definitely love at first sight.
Okay, that one technically doesn't count, but it is fire. But yeah, moving back into this, number 5, which this is probably the question I'm most curious about. If you weren't involved in the arts, what career field do you think you would be in right now?
Oh, that's a good one. I would be a paleontologist. I love, and I know it's very random. I love dinosaurs. I love working with intricate detail work, and I just also I love dinosaurs and their history through their bones fascinates me. So I also love science and prehistoric past of our planet. So it's very fascinating to me. I kind of could get lost in that forever, and I wouldn't even care. I would just live in a trailer for the rest of my life digging up bones, and that would be my life if I wasn't doing this.
Literally, if we weren't talking about dinosaurs, that would be kind of scary, but I totally get it. Technically, you're not from the Power Ranger generation, but I'm not gonna lie. Power Rangers has inspired a lot of people to do one of 3 things. Number 1, literally get a job where they think they're going to be a superhero. Fireman, soldier, police, etc., all that stuff. Or create new archaeologists or paleontologists. I'm not even joking. I got 15 friends that grew up on Power Rangers. Bare minimum. 15 friends. And I can tell you right now, there's about 10 of them who told me they made their life decision because Power Rangers.
That is, I mean, I did grow up in, I was a kid in the 90s, but I was a little older, but I still love the Power Rangers. So I did, I can understand why they would say that. I loved the Power Rangers because they were mecha robot dinosaurs. So that was truly pretty awesome for that time. And yeah, that was, that I can see why they would want to. But Jurassic Park, I think, was one of the major major movies that I would have probably, that I could say I was highly inspired by. I thought right then and there, I was like, that's it. That's what I want to be. I want to be a paleontologist.
Well, if you ever want to meet them and fangirl, they're in Chicago every single August, usually about 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. That sounds great.
Which I know that sounds mean, but I'm happy it's not the news. It's always the ones that everyone grew up with. Those are the ones that show up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the retro, nostalgic ones.
Right, I'm still blown away, and I know it's messed up to say, but Walter Jones, aka the first Black Power Ranger, told me to his face, they did edit around his hands. Although you are most known for more traditional arts, you have also become a published author. What made you want to engage the world of literature? Or rather, what made you specifically want to try to make a novel based in cyberpunk?
Oh, I see. Okay, I always loved telling stories. Ever since I was little, I would tell them to my little brother to help him sleep at night. And when I was younger, I didn't know how to write very well. I actually didn't believe I could be a writer. So I always turned to art in order to vividly tell a story through an image. And by my late teenage years, I got an old computer with Windows 95 on it and began writing my first book. And that was it for me. I was hooked, and cyberpunk it became my thing when I realized I just really, I just was so inspired by a lot of cyberpunk movies and television. I'm a futurist. I'm a bit of a futurist, so I love predicting what you might see even just 100 to 1,000 years from now. So that's something I really enjoy doing.
Well, I'm not a futurist, but I do love predicting. But here's the messed up part. Even though if he were alive, he'd be damn near 100 years old. My dad was the best at predicting humanity than almost anybody I know that's literally alive, which is so disturbing to me because he did not like the future. He didn't hate new technology. He just got annoyed by it. Like, I remember one day I asked him, hey, Dad, well, you know how everything always changes? Yeah, every 20, 40 years, things get a little bit different. I was like, okay, well, what's something that, you thought was going to annoy you forever? Because he always said he hated new stuff. Well, what's something from the back in the day you thought would annoy you forever, but it didn't end up doing it? Sliced bread. Now, as an adult, I realized the depth and gravity of that statement. As a kid, what do you mean sliced bread? It's like, well, I mean, when I was growing up, everyone used to always complain about it. It had been out for a few years. They said it was the bomb. They loved it. Hot diggity and all that other new stuff kids say. No one says hot diggity anymore, Dad. I promise. I was like, yeah, well, I thought it was going to annoy me because no one would shut up about sliced bread. But lo and behold, people eventually shut up about sliced bread. Now, he's telling me this when I'm 7. It does not hit me till I'm 17 how insane and epic that statement was. I was like, you remember when sliced bread was new? I was like, no, but by the time I was born, it had been out for 4 years. I was like, oh, you're almost as old as sliced bread. It's like, why are you acting like you didn't know this? I've never hid my age from you. I was like, it just didn't hit me till now.
Yeah, it's really funny how that stuff is because my grandmother raised me and she's like 92 now, and she was around during the time when they would deliver milk to the house, and just all these little old-fashioned things, Yeah, and ice. The Iceman would come by and bring ice to the ice box, and that's my grandfather called it the refrigerator. He called it the ice box, and so for a long time I used to call it the ice box, and other kids used to make fun of me, and I just thought it was really funny because I'm like, these things are so old, and people don't realize how things have changed so quickly, and yet it feels like it was like centuries ago, but it was only like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, it's just,
I think it's pretty wild. I don't know.
For number 7, what is the title and synopsis of your upcoming game? Because I figure we should spotlight that.
Okay, I will do that. And okay, so it's called Phoenix Undying. It's about an immortal, whiskey-loving young woman from the future. In a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk world, all she has to accompany her is a loyal hoverbike with an AI pup, like it's like a puppy, you know, he's like a puppy. It's a sassy artificial it's a sassy artificial intelligence named Vivi and specially gifted 12-year-old boy she takes in under her wing. Together they meet a range of colorful characters, face rough terrain, exotic creatures, solve Earth's past, and face a pair of villainous siblings, all while possibly saving or helping to destroy the world. So it's kind of a little comedic. It is Phoenix has a bit of a comedic personality. She's pretty badass. Has sky pirates.
I don't hate cyberpunk. I'm tired of like the main characters always being pessimists.
Okay. Yeah, she's kind of like an anti-hero. She is like that.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and give me that link. Also, I'm just saying, based on what you said, that sounds like that should go in the back of the box. Just saying.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it should.
Oh, and if you ever want to kidnap any of my voice actors, hey, feel free. Most of them are bi or trilingual anyway, so.
Sounds good to me.
So is it turn-based or action?
It is, it's a RPG. It's just turn-based. Sorry, it's turn-based. Turn-based. Oh, okay, that's from on my Twitter. I have a Twitter thing for that, so let me go to my Twitter.
I'm almost scared to ask, but who's the main character based off of? Do you have a favorite game designer? And if not, what is your favorite genre and why? But you obviously have a favorite game designer.
Yes, I do. Some people are going to really hate me for this, but I love Todd Howard. I think he's brilliant and pretty hilarious on how he handles his haters. So yeah, I love Bethesda. I'm a huge fan. They'll always have my heart. So Todd Howard is my favorite game designer.
Okay. All right, number 9. Although I myself cherish all formats of artistic creation, there is an unfortunate perception that some forms are superior to others. For example, digital is better than hand-drawn. Do you think there are any ways to combat this perception, or are we doomed to hear it indefinitely due to art by its nature being subjective?
Ooh, I do believe we are doomed because I believe art will always be seen in the eyes of the beholder sort of thing. It's all of us will perceive it differently, and I find a connection with it in our own, we'll find a connection with it in our own way. So art is just another form of self-expression to me, and it allows us to connect to it in a way we know best. So I think it will always be a personal experience for us all, and people will decide what they believe is better or what they believe is true art in their eyes, really. I mean, that's basically my belief on it.
Glad you feel that way. I share a similar sentiment.
Good.
Let's see, number 10. What was the key moment in your life that made you realize, oh snap, this is the career I want for the rest of my life? And given the fact that you've got your hand in many, many things, I mean as far as like drawing or doing artistic things.
Okay. Well, let's see. I just always had an eye for it. I was, as soon as I was very young, I took a liking to anything in the arts. The minute I saw a piano at the age of 6, I started playing it, and I couldn't stop. And I started writing my own music, and then I took a huge liking to video games right away as well at the age of 6. And I had so many wonderful moments with my brother. A lot of it was when we were kids, and I just think it was the best of times, you know. I wanted to bring joy like that to others in my work, so I think once in a while escaping our world is highly needed. It gives us a bit of freedom from the negativity of our lives when you can't afford to be free, you know. If you're going through tough times, art, music, video games kind of help you escape, you know. It gives you a sense of power and control in some way, and with video games, being in this career, it's for the evening, we get to be heroes in a world full of villains, and I kind of love that. Sometimes we get to be the villain. It's just fun, we being in this career and helping that to be expressed for people, I think is healthy. I think it's a healthy way for us through art, music, and video games, all of it, the arts. It's a way for all of us to really express ourselves, and I will love to be in any of that. So it's very, I think it's very needed inspirationally for people all over the world, and it's definitely special. So,
is there any skill left you think you need to learn artistically, or do you feel as if you're done and are in the mastering the craft phase? And for the uninitiated or the non-artistic out there, what that means is sometimes, or depending on what you're doing, there are certain points in your artistic journey where instead of absorbing new techniques, you have transitioned, or you feel like you're ready to quote unquote transition into mastering them, if not perfecting them, if perfection can even be attained. Depending on who you ask, it pretty much doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I always, I can always learn new things, and I love learning. So we're always learning something new, even in game design. You're learning a new program, you're learning something new. So you're never really a master at anything until probably, I don't even think I can believe I can be a master at anything. I just think that really, just keeping the brain fresh and learning as much as you possibly can. I'll continue to master my crafts, but, that I already know. But I do believe in always learning something new and keeping the brain fresh.
Is there anything in particular you want them to, know about, or where can they find you if they have questions, or what do you feel like promoting? Go ahead and do it. Take as long as you want. Technically, this video has no time limit.
Okay, I'll keep it kind of short, but my name is Ginger Ann London. You can find my illustrated novel, Phoenix Undying, available now on Amazon. And feel free to follow me on Twitter at Ginger Ann for more updates on my game and any other work I'm currently doing. I am also available for commissions or gaming-related work. And that's it.
Nothing wrong with keeping it short/brief. Okay, with that being said, Miss London, I appreciate you stepping through, and thank you for not spoiling Horizon Zero Dawn 2 for me. Primarily because, I got caught up in actually getting my internet back, which, didn't even happen until like 6 days ago, despite me living here almost a full month now. So,
oh no.
Definitely an adjustment period to that, but I'll be sure to either check in on you and see what new stuff that you can basically use me to promote, or, possibly bug you like some of the other people who end up on my life stories section. Not that it's anything of, remote importance. It's more like, here's some crazy or dangerous stuff that happened to me or a group of friends that we now think it's funny, but at the time was hella scary. I have a episode where a teenage bonfire party in the middle of nowhere, Illinois, turned into, not a shootout, but finding someone who got kidnapped and stopping them from being kidnapped. But there was shooting. It's okay, because I was able to duck and hide. And really, that's what's important.
Yes, that is very important. We need you alive.
Okay, and for those of you who are curious about the different ways you can hear/see this particular episode, please remember we are on Spotify. We're now on Audible, which means technically by extension, we're on Amazon Music. We can also be found on iTunes, YouTube, and Anchor.fm, as well as Listen.fm. No, they're not paying me to promote anything. I'm just letting you know how to find us.
Wake up.